So,
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are here with WrestleMania recap here on Driving to the Top Productions. My name is Big Rich. Got Marcus right here with me, and I know you didn't sit through all 18 hours, did you? I pray you didn't sit through all 18
oh no,
hours.
no way. So I didn't even watch the NXT countdown. I did turn it on when they had the pre-show. Uh, I was watching basketball, but I mean, every so often I would flip just to see a video package that I want to see, and then I turn it off. But no way in hell I was going to sit and watch Peter Rosenberg for 3 hours straight.
Yeah, no, that's I mean, they've gotten to the point that it's worse than the Super Bowl. I mean, the Super Bowl has that 5 hour lead in of pregame and all the vignettes and all that kind of craziness, which I don't watch all of either unless the Steelers are in it. Um, but it's just one of those deals that I'd sit there and go, come on. And they do it both days and a 2 hour post, and it's not that. Even when I was at my peak wrestling interest, I wouldn't have watched all 18 hours of this.
Well, I definitely did not watch the post show. Uh, I I mean, I can watch College Game Day from start to finish. I can watch NFL Countdown from start to finish, but not if it was only 1 hour. Then yes, not 3 hours. I get it's your biggest show of the year, but come on, like they were even doing this while they were in Saudi, and I think they even did it for SummerSlam. They had like a 2-3 hour kickoff show for that also.
They, but there's nothing new. That's the whole thing with it. There's nothing new. Like at least with game day and all that kind of stuff, you've got new stuff that you're seeing and hearing and all that kind of good stuff. And with countdowns the same way to the largest degree, you're getting information that you may not have known and fantasy stuff and things like that. But with this, no. Now, and of course we've got as we record on Monday at 7:30 Central here in the US, led off with John Cena um, diatribe, and had a little visit from Randy Orton there after that, and then of course they're kicking off the matches with a rematch of a match that took place on Sunday. So let's get into the card and what we thought of what went down. Now, when we did our pre-show, I laid the precursor out. If this match led off, what was going to happen? And it's exactly what happened. Jey Uso versus Gunther was the curtain jerker. Um, I thought it was a really good match. Some people are saying that they thought Gunther got buried. I don't see how that happens. I thought Gunther looked strong. I thought Jey Uso looked really strong. Jey Uso wins the title, and the place goes mad. Babies are in the air, people are going crazy, and people are yeeting all over themselves.
I knew he was gonna win, but I had no clue he was gonna make him tap out. I don't think that was the biggest gamble. Like, I wonder how many bets replaced that Jay was gonna make him tap out. I bet
His own move.
oh move, a sleeper hole. I didn't expect. I'm thinking kick, 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 maybe two Uso splashes. You pin him 1, 2, 3. No, he beat him with a sleeper hole and he tapped out. That was a shock for me, but I was still happy he won. And I don't understand. Like I said, I mean, this is why Triple H cooked and roasted the IWC the other day on that podcast. At the beginning of the year and throughout of the end of 2024, you were cheering and wanting this guy to be on top. And then it's like after Saturday night's main event, you are mad that he won the Royal Rumble, all this. And now he wins this. The video had over 16,000 dislikes. Why? Y'all were just wanting this man to win. They turn on people so quickly. When we get to main event of night 2, you'll understand. When I'm going to bring that up again for another former champion But it's like I
Yeah,
feel
but
like why?
well,
Why
see,
you don't
yeah, I'm
change?
confused.
Because he has
I'm
five
confused on
moves.
it too. Well,
Because he has
Jey
that's
Uso's got more than 5 moves, but the
yeah.
thing that I look at is, I don't. You hear this stuff from people on social media and all that kind of stuff, but yet when he hits the arena and that music starts playing, everybody in the building, I mean, they're blowing the roof off. It's not a case where people are sitting on their hands and being very lukewarm about it. I mean, to me, this is almost as big live audience wise as the Yes Movement with Daniel Bryan. I mean, the people go nuts and everybody is doing it. Um, it's just one of those you sit there and go, okay. And then you see all these people on social media doing what they're doing, and you just shake your head and wonder, what in the wait, time out. What?
Yeah. I'm not complaining.
I'm not mad. I'm glad that Jay won it, and I think I hope he holds on to it for a while.
I'm
The World Tag Team Championship. Is it just me, or are you 100% sick of the New Day?
well, first let me answer that. I'm hoping Jay can at least go 6 months with it. At least
Mm-hmm.
let him at least retain his first title defense. I hope he's not transitional. I'm hoping he can at least go 6 months. I'll be happy with 6 months and so forth.
Yeah.
That match was boring, and I get why Clash, what was it? That mobile game, not Clash of the Titans, that's a movie. Clash of the Clans or I don't remember, Titan Clans or whatever. They had the War Raiders dressed like characters in that mobile game. Um, Kofi King said, I don't like his facial. He needs to put this back to let it connect. I can't. He looks like Abraham Lincoln with that beard. I call it the Abe Lincoln beard. I don't like it.
Something like that. Yeah.
I got
See,
swerved. I thought Big E was going to pop out and cost them the title. He was nowhere in sight. New Day wins their 13th championship, and everyone was laughing at that shot of Kofi holding the belt like he's surprised. Like, I can understand if it was a world championship, but you 13-time tag champ, and you made that hilarious shot where
yeah. Here's the thing I can
sucked.
tell you, Marcus.
That match sucked. That was my worst match of the night. Worst match for night one.
Oh, I'm with you there. I mean, I was not impressed. Not impressed. I like the War Raiders. I think that now that they're both healthy, because you remember, it seemed like right as they would start to get their legs under them, one would get hurt, then the other got hurt. And the one had really bad neck injury that they thought he was done.
Eric?
Um, yeah, Eric. I think it was Eric.
Yeah, Ivar
Um,
had a
but
singles run for a little while, and it didn't go nowhere.
yeah, but I mean, they're talented guys, especially for their size. They move great. Um, they make a connection with the crowd. I don't understand. I mean, unless they're just really looking at this New Day War Raiders thing going for a while, because let's be honest, the Raw tag division sucks out loud. I mean, the other part of it that I'm looking at is, you know, do they need to go ahead and put these titles and merge them together?
No,
I don't,
no,
you know.
no. They just split them a year ago. They were wanting not everyone's getting opportunities. Even though they don't defend them a lot, they're at least getting opportunity. Look at SmackDown. It's a good thing they split because at least, even though SmackDown's not going to put it on WrestleMania, there's teams getting turns left and right. And I got a bone to pick with Nick Aldis for not putting that upcoming TLC match at WrestleMania. That would have been perfect.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand why the SmackDown title wasn't on the line at WrestleMania instead of the Raw title. Because I would be much more interested in seeing Motor City Machine Guns, DIY, and Street Profits than I was that fiasco. Speaking of fiascos, And I went into this one. I told you in our prediction show, this was the bathroom break match. Naomi and Jade Cargill.
That was a good match. I'll give them that.
Yeah. I don't. I wasn't. I wasn't impressed. I just wasn't. As I chomp on a French fry. Sorry, guys. Um, but I
I didn't like her
I don't
entrance
think
with.
I don't think Jade's very good. Is she powerful? Sure. Does she have a physique? Sure. Doesn't mean she can wrestle. Naomi can wrestle if she's in there with somebody decent or good for that matter. You know, if we would get her and Bianca, okay. If we got her and Rhea, her and take your pick, her and Liv, her whoever. Okay, great. Not her and Jade. No, 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 no.
Well,
But
having I didn't like her. I didn't like her intro with Jim Cantor from the Weather Channel, who I'm used to seeing track hurricanes. Give a made up like green screen weather report of the Legion Stadium, and then it just starts fake raining and all that. Then it's Jade Cargill, who I'm shocked she hasn't did a Storm from X-Men gimmick yet. She's done Jade from Mortal Kombat. She's done this and that, but I just was not a fan of that entrance with Jim Cantor. And I mean, if they'd have really got him there, that'd have been one thing, but you could tell that was all like fake and green screened and everything. They could have done better for Jade. Plus, Jade cut her hair. I'm not used to that new hairstyle she got. But yeah, there were some botches in that match. I thought she was knocked out with that X Factor on the floor. But I think a lot of people thought Naomi was going to pull it off, but I called it. I said Jade was going to win. But I feel like this rivalry is far from over. They're going to end up meeting again soon, maybe Backlash or maybe on SmackDown. But
another one too, from what I gather, and I haven't gotten a definite report on it yet, but that Naomi got hurt on that one power bomb right before she did Jaded at the end. That apparently Naomi got hurt there.
Damn.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything confirming it, but that. By the way, do you know who Jade Cargill's husband is?
I forgot.
Former Cincinnati Reds second baseman Brandon Phillips.
Really? Because I knew she had a daughter, so that's her daddy.
Uh-huh.
Her mom is a professional wrestler and her dad's a professional baseball player. That's nice. That
Who is about
that little girl's gonna be an athlete when she gets older.
Yeah. There's about a 15-year gap between the two of them. But yeah, she we had a chance to on the radio station I used to work with. We had Brandon on because he owns a professional slow pitch softball or a professional fast pitch softball team in Austin, Texas.
Uh-huh.
The was it the NFPSL or something like that. But anyway, the next match on the card.
That would be cool though. That would be cool if like I heard your backstory about you used to get wrestlers on the radio network and everything. That'd be nice if we could try and get them on for like interviews or anything like that. Which I mean, it's hard these days to get them, but
and I still have the connection with a lot of the guys. That I'm definitely going to work on that. It's just a matter of timing for them. Like you say, now the ones that are inactive obviously are a little easier than the ones that are active. But I also have a great relationship with some guys that are the guy behind the guy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of cool too. But yeah, we definitely are going to work on that. United States Championship, which I thought was a really good match. I enjoyed it. LA Knight, Jacob Fatu. You couldn't lose with the results on that one. You could not lose with the results on that. it was simply a case where, you had two guys there that the crowd was into both guys, even though Jacob is supposed to be the heel in this whole thing. The crowd loves both guys, and rightly so. Jacob Fatu was far and away the number two best guy in the bloodline from the minute he walked in. Um, and it's just one of those deals. It was a great match. Jacob Fatu needed the title to, not necessarily needed the title, deserved the title, I guess is a better word to say. So yeah, I mean, I thought it was a really good match, and I think the right guy won. Let's put it that way.
And I will give LA Knight credit. His entrance was pretty cool, coming out in that Maserati with the window down, riding shotgun. Jacob Fatu should have had a cooler entrance. Having Solo come out with him just made it worse. Wearing that creamy suit, whatever, that cream color suit. But man, that was a banger of a match. I'll give both men their flowers, especially Jacob Fatu. He wrestling like he's been there back and forth, and
saw that coming.
I'm so happy they finally put a championship on him. And can I just make a breaking news announcement? I know we're going to talk about it later in the show.
That's why I said saw that coming.
Or unless you want to wait till we get to that match. I think it might be better to wait till we get to that match.
Yeah, let's do that. But I saw what just happened coming.
That's got me having questions
especially with everything.
I have questions about a certain group now, if they're going to break up or not. But anyhow.
Well, yeah.
That was a hell of a match. LA Knight, Jacob Fatu.
And I'll tell you what, I think if they let them have several matches, over the course of, say, the next few months, another match at Backlash and that kind of thing, not a bad move. Not a bad move at all. But the next match, okay, Rey Mysterio gets hurt Friday night on SmackDown. Mm-hmm. So they have to get a replacement for him. What makes the most common sense? Rey Fenix. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I'd rather him than Dragon Lee.
Well, yeah. And Rey Fenix in AEW was really good. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed watching him. He was one of the few luchadors in AEW that I really liked. I wasn't El Hijo de Vikingo and all that kind of, I'm not into those guys, but I like Rey Fenix. And I like Penta. But Rey Fenix versus El Grande Americano, also known as Chad Gable. I mean, the dead giveaway has American made on the front of his mask. Seriously?
He's got the tattoo on the back of his neck. I think he's got a scrape on his knuckle or his hand. I mean, it's not rocket science, but I love this whole like, oh, it's not him, oh, it's him argument.
And the metal plate that he puts in his mask and that kind of deal. He does end up beating Rey Fenix. If they have a series of matches, I think that could be a really interesting series of matches. Because I don't care if he's Chad Gable or Grande Americano, those matches are going to be good.
They're going to eventually have more. We're eventually going to have a mask versus mask match where they're going to finally reveal it's Chad Gable. But can I just say, I laughed hysterically at his entrance with the filter, like if it was from like old school Western style back in the day or old school Hispanic times. Yeah. They got a mariachi band all wearing El Grande Americano masks. That was I laughed. I thought it was hilarious.
It went full blown Three Amigos for me.
I love that movie. Good classic movie.
Fantastic movie.
with Chevy Chase, Steve Martin, and man,
Martin
if we could have
Short.
got cool. Too bad we couldn't get them in the intro. That'd have made it even genius.
Oh, that'd have been unbelievable. But you know, it was what it was. It was a very good match. El Grande Americano wins the match with the diving headbutt, which I kind of was interested in. You know, I thought they had gotten rid of that particular
Yeah,
move since
I
certain
thought they were
individuals.
gonna ban it because of yeah. Can we say
Um,
his name on the show? I mean, I need to know real
oh
quick.
yeah, no, we can. Well,
Can
Chris
we
Benoit. Oh,
can we cuss on this show? I didn't want to drop F bombs last week, so that's why I didn't
well,
say no cuss words last week.
yeah. I mean, we'll keep it R rated, I guess.
I mean,
We'll
this
keep
is
it as a
your call.
semi
Yeah,
family show.
yeah. I
Um,
mean, I'm not gonna go full blown heel and all
yeah,
that. I'm trying to be
but yeah,
professional myself.
yeah. The yeah, not all. You know, it's fine as long as we don't go crazy with it. I think we're okay. Um, the next match to me was one of the ones I was looking forward to the most, and it delivered. Um, Tiffany Stratton versus Charlotte Flair. I still say the same thing I told you during the prediction show. I think Charlotte Flair is still babying that knee. She was not doing Charlotte Flair stuff, or in Adam Page's terms, you know, cowboy shit.
I
um,
love, I loved her entrance with the Barbie box, where
yeah,
there she was in the middle, and they had two other Barbie boxes that had like a video screen in there with like a moving video figure of her. I figured they turned like I love the set. The set was like a giant casino, and they turned into like a Barbie mansion with the LED trons. I was waiting for her to come out in a pink convertible or something, but the Barbie box was pretty sweet. What Charlotte trying to cosplay like? Well, I'll say she was trying to be like Tiffany. She was wearing pink and like candy blue. She a little went overboard with her entrance, coming out in a fancy car, having like an entourage, but Charlotte was a bit off. Tiffany Tiffany chipped a tooth, but she got it fixed in less than 24 hours. That
three
three of
teeth,
them, three teeth.
three of them,
Was that
three
when she
teeth.
hit the post, or that's when Charlotte
Uh,
kicked her in the face?
From what I gather, it was a combination of the two. It got
Remember?
loose when the one got chipped and got loose, and the other two got loose whenever she hit the post. The other ones came from the kick. It just
So,
jarred it.
so that'll be
But
outside of Mick Foley. I will always remember when Cesaro lost his teeth.
yeah, yeah, but you know, they have dentists on staff, and if you noticed in the press conference, she had veneers in. You know, she wasn't going in there looking like she got punched in the mouth or something.
Yeah.
But I thought, you know, you knew this was going to be a very athletic match, and it was. Both of the ladies are extreme athletes, extremely good at what they do, and you know, it's definitely a case where you could take this for a while if Charlotte is going to be Charlotte. If Charlotte's not going to be Charlotte, she kind of needs to try and back up a little bit and maybe let some of these other folks get in there because I could see a lot of really good, you know, Tiffany Bianca, Tiffany Rhea, Tiffany Io Sky, even. Um, Here's one that you may not have thought about, but Tiffany and Bailey
Yeah.
could be really good.
But I don't know what's the fate of Charlotte. I don't know how much she's got left in the tank. I'm gonna assume she's gonna eventually retire soon, but I there's no telling what's gonna happen next.
Well, they did all this stuff. They did all this stuff at the same time that she was going through the divorce with Andrade.
Yeah.
And I don't know that mentally she's fully been there. Do you?
No, she has been completely off. And why do I feel if she does take time off again, she's going to be gone nearly a year. And as soon as she comes back, they are going to put her right back in the title picture, just like they did recently and the recent before when she had that knee injury. When she came back on that SmackDown at the end of the year and won the title, that's when it was still the SmackDown Women's Championship. I forgot who she beat on her night on her return.
Is it Nia?
Oh, it was in. I think it was at the end of 2022.
Yeah.
That was the night she won the
why.
title, and then she went on to WrestleMania and lost it to Rhea Ripley. So I'm damn, who was the champion?
I don't know why I'm thinking it was Nia, but I could be wrong.
No, it wasn't Nia.
Now that I'm thinking about it, was it Bailey?
I'm gonna actually look that up real quick.
I agree with Charles. Charlotte should retire. Looked awful. I agree. Your first statement we're going to talk about in a little bit, Charles. That's why I'm not ignoring it. We're going to talk about it in a little bit because it kind of builds off of something that we're going to talk about in a minute. So
remember, this was when it was the SmackDown Women's Championship.
SmackDown Women's Championship, yeah.
She beat Ronda Rousey.
Oh, yeah.
December 30th, 2022, the final SmackDown in Tampa, Florida. That's when Charlotte came back and she beat Ronda Rousey. Ronda held it for 83 days after she won it from, I think it was, Liv Morgan at Extreme Rules in 22. And then she lost it to Charlotte, and then Charlotte lost it to Rhea, and that's when they reformed it to the Women's World Championship.
Right.
So I was wrong.
That Charlotte Rhea Ripley match at WrestleMania
sucked.
May be one of the best women's matches I've ever seen.
Oh, really? I thought it. I mean, I was so glad Ronda retained, but I didn't think it was main event worthy enough. But
no, Charlotte Rhea, not Charlotte.
Rhea. Yes, I agree. I will give Charlotte credit for that. There's two matches Charlotte was in. I will say 5 stars. Her match with Rhea at WrestleMania 39, which I will admit, as much as I hate Charlotte Flair, that would have been one night she deserved the main event, but I didn't want her to be the first woman to do it twice. So I was glad the Usos and KO and Sami ended up main eventing. But her last woman standing match with Becky Lynch at Evolution, that was a 5-star match. That should have main evented, not Ronda Rousey and Nikki Bella, 2 women that can't wrestle. That I don't know what they were thinking, not putting Becky and Charlotte in the main event of that.
It was the names. I mean, you and I both know it was the names. Well, yeah, I'll tell you what though, I was a big fan of the Charlotte Sasha match. It was either Hell in a Cell or in a cage, where they just beat the living stuffing out of each other. Both showed just how tough they were, and that was a super match. I really enjoyed that one too. But Charlotte's definitely seen her better days. Big thing is, her health. So, is she going to be able to walk? But then we get to the main.
Is she going through mental health as well?
Well, yeah, there's that too. I mean, with going through the divorce and all that kind of stuff. I mean,
and I will say, as much as I don't like her in the ring and all that, and I shit talk her in the ring, mental health's a different issue, and I don't want that for her. Hopefully, she can get some help for that because I've heard or we know how the outcome of that can be, and I don't want her to be down that road.
Right. No, you're 1,000% right. You definitely don't want things to get to an extreme with that. And I'm with you. I hope that it's physical issues, not mental issues. So
even if it's
moving right along,
she can get that taken care of too. But
right. I mean, like I say, if she's still baby in the knee, maybe they brought her back too quick. Mm-hmm. Very possible. Then we come to the main event of night one. Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns versus CM Punk. Now, we're gonna spend a little time on this one. So we get the usual match. We're expecting these guys to be beating the stuffing out of each other, and they do a couple of Shield moves and all that kind of stuff. Hall gets to the point that he's getting involved, has the chair in his hand, and he's holding it. And Roman's looking at him, Punk's looking at him, Rollins is laying in the corner, and then he slides the chair to Punk, who Punk has been beaten within an inch of his life, and he's actually using the chair to hold himself up and that kind of deal. And what happens? Wham! The shot to the meat and two veg from Paul Heyman, and Punk goes down. So everybody's thinking that he's turning on Punk and going back to Roman. Punk drops the chair in the whole situation. Roman grabs the chair. Rollins is just trying to get up. Finally gets himself up. Roman has the chair. Very similar situation to when Roman got hit by Rollins when the Shield blew apart. And right as Roman gets ready to blast Rollins, another shot to the boys delivered by Mr. Heyman, this time to Roman Reigns. So now the crowd has completely gone absolutely ape. And we've found out that Heyman has not aligned himself with Roman or Punk, that he is aligning himself with Seth freaking Rollins. Very interesting. Very interesting. And we have our first. Remember, we have Raw after WrestleMania is running while we're recording this, and we have our first new appearance in many years. An hour into the show, care to tell everyone who just popped onto the screen?
Can I say what day it is today?
It's Rusev Day.
Happy Rusev Day, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just weird how he just pops in during this tag match. Like when the lights go out, well, I don't know why I was thinking maybe like Wyatt 6 or even, which we all know Aleister Black's going to SmackDown. But I knew Rusev was coming, but I'm glad he's here. New theme. I like the new Tron.
Yeah,
they better not.
My
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, my thought would have been, is he going to come out with somebody else? Or is he just going to do like he did when he first came in and beat the stuffing out of everybody? I see he's got the Johnny B. Bad shorts going.
I was going to say, like, yeah. I was going to say he looked like he's ready for boxing. Just give him some red gloves, and he's ready to knock someone out. I like this new look of him. But can they not fumble on him this time? Like, can they actually put the world title on him?
Yeah, well, yeah, because I was just thinking, put him in there against Cena. And revive that.
Yeah, run it back with Bruce.
Revive that rivalry. Because those guys had some really, really hellacious matches. I wonder. Well, he is going back to using the clutch.
Well, he's not the Bulgarian Brute, or he's not the Russian sympathizer, or whatever he was. He's just like his Redeemer gimmick, you could say.
Kinda, yeah. Yeah.
Which I rather the name Rusev than Miro, and I'm glad they shortened it, and it's not Alexander Rusev. It's just Rusev.
Well, they do that with pretty much everybody when they come from NXT to the main roster, because they did it with Elias. He was Elias Sampson. He became Elias. They did it with they didn't do it with Gunther because he was Walter and they turned him into Gunther.
Yeah,
but
the name grew into me. I rather Walter, but I did grow into Gunther.
Ooh, there's one. That's an interesting one, Charles. It really is. Rusev versus Braun.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I
That
would sign
that
me up for
yeah.
that.
Rusev versus Gunther.
Look, dipshit Mysterio's wearing a Latino Heat shirt like he's Eddie Guerrero.
Or he's Eddie's kid. Ta-da.
We know he's not. This cosplay of Eddie. Finn
Anyways,
Finn's about
so
to win that.
night one ends with the crowd shocked that Heyman goes and sides with Rollins. Rollins ends up winning the match, and here we go. So it's it's definitely a interesting first night, and we moved to the second night, and they kicked things off with the match that I was hoping they would, and they did
Well,
with the
can I
Women's
say
World Championship. Yeah.
I gotta say about the triple threat. I called it. Heyman turning on and aligning with Seth, but in fashion, how he did it with the double low blow, that was genius. Seth doing the chair shot. I mean, the match alone. I said since 2002, I said the greatest triple threat match I ever saw was Rock, Taker, and Kurt at Vengeance 2002 until this triple threat happened. This may be the greatest triple threat I ever saw. Definitely 5 stars. Could be match of the year candidate. Everything about it was good. Roman's entrance was nothing special except when those little, I called them the dice tron, the little domino trons or whatever they were, where they were coming down and they were kept sliding members of the Anawai family in there. And then someone took a good shot when Roman was walking. The big tron right behind him popped his dad, Sika, and it was a beautiful shot. Shout out to that cameraman getting that photo shot. Seth Rollins' entrance, hands down, one of the best. Punk, I mean, Living Color did not sound too good in person. I thought it was funny they took a selfie together. I'll talk more about a selfie later. But yes, that was a fucking fantastic triple threat. I'm already calling it match of the year already.
I'll tell you what. I mean, as it sits right now, it's going to be up there. The one that I'm not. I told you before. I'm not a huge entrance guy or stage guy. I do like checking out the entrances and that, but the big thing to me was just the way that the crowd reacted to all three guys, because the crowd literally reacted that you had three faces, and you really did, that you had three faces going against each other, because they went nuts for each of the three of them. So that to me, more than anything else, made you go, okay, and to see how this whole thing panned out. So we end up, like I say, we end WrestleMania night one with that. We start WrestleMania night two with the Women's World Championship, Io Sky beating Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. I must be the only person on the planet that's a big Io Sky fan.
Me too.
I think she's fantastic. She to me is probably the second best Asian Asian Oriental, whatever the proper word is, whatever the PC term is, wrestler since Gail Kim. And I love Asuka. I'm a huge Asuka guy, but I think Io Sky is even better than Asuka.
I have the same level of love for her. Like I love Kairi Sane, Asuka, Gail Kim. Well, I even like Hikaru Shida in AEW. Rio's good. Nakamura, or I mean, are we talking about just female Asians or any Asian
Female.
wrestler in general? Because I could throw in
Female.
Nakamura, I could throw Taka
No.
Michinoku in there.
No, female because male, I think Takeshita in AEW is rock star written all over him. Big neon lights. He has
Okay,
rock star written all over him. I think he's going to be phenomenal.
I say Okada. I said that with Okada or Tetsuya Naito, those guys.
Okada has done absolutely zero except learn how to say bitch in English.
Hey, that is entertaining to me. I'm so sorry.
That's
I used to have that clip.
Okada does absolutely the elite does absolutely. I still have Nick and Matt Jackson in my head as Generation Me in TNA.
Yeah, Max and Jeremy Buck, huh? Okay.
Right. So it's like, okay, and I no. They were dorks then and they're dorks now. So getting to some quality wrestling. Rhea, Bianca, Io, you
Oh,
knew this was going to be good.
we got another breaking news announcement. For the first time ever, Survivor Series is going to be in a stadium. They're going to
Shocker.
Petco, an outdoor show. Good thing you're going to San Diego. They don't ever get cold. Wow. Watch Dominic main event that because it's in his hometown and that's his ball team, San Diego Padres. That is huge. Wow.
Their only hope was to do it in either San Diego or LA.
Well, where would they have gone in LA? I don't think they'd have went to SoFi Stadium. Plus, LA's getting money in the bank. They're getting
Dodgers.
World's
Good
Collide.
Dodger Stadium.
By the way, what's your take with WWE purchasing AAA and doing the crossover with NXT the same night as Money in the Bank?
That's the part that's got me kind of confused. You're competing against yourself. You know what I mean? You're competing against yourself. I don't quite get it. But as far as the getting AAA, I think it's a great move. A lot of the luchador talent that they've gotten over the last couple of years have come from AAA anyway. Santos Escobar came from AAA. Dragon Lee came from AAA. Phoenix and Penta are AAA guys. So, I think it's a great move, and it could certainly make some things happen. Again, we've got the Raw after WrestleMania on while we're doing the show. This is the one and only part of Io Sky that just is a massive red flag.
Well,
She
how about
still hasn't grasped the English language well enough. She needs a manager.
By the way, they're already like booking Fantasy Warfare with Rusev. Rivalry Sports already said Rusev versus Braun Breaker. Shout out to Young Kings Wrestling. They want Rusev versus Gunther.
That's what I was saying. Rusev and Gunther. Yeah. Yeah. Rusev Gunther would be really. Rusev Drew McIntyre.
Rusev and Penta. Rusev and Damian Priest. Rusev and CM Punk. We never saw that.
About Rusev and Sheamus.
Rusev and Sheamus.
There's a lot of matches you can get with Rusev. A whole lot of matches you can get with Rusev.
You can even run back. Good. You can even run back. Rusev and Roman, Rusev and Seth, Rusev and AJ Styles if he's still. Oh shit! My baby's on Raw. What is? These surprises are going to interrupt us. So women's triple threat, I thought was the match of the night of night 2. I'm so glad Io retained her title. Bianca's undefeated streak has come to an end at WrestleMania, and she took the pin, which I called after Bianca was taking the pin. And my baby, Stephanie Vakir, is now on Monday Night Raw. But great triple threat. Both triple threat matches stole both shows.
Yeah, they really did. The match that followed the Women's World Championship, Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest in a Sin City street fight. Not, I don't know. I mean, it was a good match for what it was. It really wasn't, even when we did the prediction show, if you remember, I said, I don't know who's going to win this match. I thought it would be Damian Priest, but obviously he didn't. Drew McIntyre gets the win. So that's a good thing. It's going to be interesting to see, does that end this thing or no? You know?
So Sin City Street Fight, I'll give some creds. I didn't really get Drew's entrance. Someone said that came from not Game of Thrones. It came from some video game. Damien got the guitars from Slayer to play him to the ring. That was pretty cool. Drew having another WrestleMania moment with his Twitter. Said still bored at work and got a selfie with Damian Priest. That was one of the funniest moments of the whole show. It got a little brutal at point. There was no bloodshed, but a razor's edge through a table, that was cool. A Claymore with a steel chair was insane. Oh, that maneuver on the steel steps, I forgot what maneuver it was. Like, it was a brutal match without any blood. But Drew got the win. I called it. Drew needed that more than ever. And he got over and finally beat a Damian Priest, but it was a hell of a match.
Yeah, it was. And by the way, going back again to what we've been talking about with this Raw after WrestleMania. Okay, now you have two women in the ring that have not mastered the English language. That's not one of those good things. You've got to be able to handle yourself on the mic. Would I love to see this match between these two? Absolutely. I just don't know about the buildup. I mean, is this something you put into Backlash? Are they going to do it tonight? Oh, they're doing it right now. So Stephanie McCour against Io Sky.
It's just champion versus champion, right? No title on the line.
I couldn't read Adam Pearce's lips.
Well, I don't.
Jessica Carr is not holding up any belts, so it doesn't look like any titles are on the line.
Yeah, it's just a champion versus champion match. Stephanie's gonna win then. Since no titles are on the line, Stephanie might pull up. The way she's dressed in blue, the same outfit she wore at Stand and Deliver, I wouldn't mind her being on SmackDown, but I feel like Vakir is perfect for Raw. She'd be a perfect fit for Raw, and Julia could go to SmackDown when she gets called up.
Yeah, and Julia is another. I mean, that's. I'm trying to figure out a diplomatic way to say this. We got to get some managers because there's got to be mouthpieces for some of these folks that don't have. That's what holds Shinsuke Nakamura back.
But speaking
if Nakamura had a Gary Hart, like Gary Hart was with Kabuki.
Yes.
And Kabuki never had to say a word. Gary Hart talked for him. If Nakamura had a Gary Hart type manager, sky's the limit. But you can't do much because again, he doesn't have that grasp of the language very well.
Also, female Asian wrestlers are good. What about Julia?
She's okay. I'm not the biggest Julia fan. I'm more of a Stephanie McCour fan than a Julia fan.
Oh, me too. I mean, no disrespect to Julia, I love her, but I'm gonna take Vakir over Julia any day. I loved her in AAA. I loved her in CMLL. I saw her short time in AEW, which I was so glad she got out of AEW and she's in WWE. So going to NXT was the smartest move, that smartest signing I ever saw.
No.
She's definitely gonna main event a WrestleMania. Like literally close out one. Like Bianca and Sasha and Becky and Ronda and Charlotte. She's gonna close out a WrestleMania in the future.
Man, it's a distinct possibility. Very distinct possibility. But when we go to the next match, to me, the shocker of the night, Intercontinental title, Penta, Finn Balor,
Oh,
Dominic
wrong match.
Mysterio, and Braun Breaker.
Oh man.
To me,
Okay.
this was the shocker of the night in result wise. Nobody, I don't think anybody had Dominic winning this thing.
Oh no, I knew
I
a
mean,
lot of people that did. I wasn't one of them.
I had Braun retaining.
I had Penta winning or Braun retaining. Now shout out to Penta. I loved his ring gear. He was paying homage to Jason David Frank as the Green Ranger. I found that out because we thought it was Joker thing, but when I saw it was all green and gold, someone said, "Oh, he paid tribute to Jason David Frank as the Green Ranger." I don't know what mask Dominic had on. I thought that was his great uncle, the original Rey Mysterio mask. That's what someone said because I didn't recognize that mask. Finn Balor wearing a yellow bag over his head and gloves. Like if you'd have zip tied his arms around his back, he'd look like a villain in Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Or got kidnapped by terrorists.
Yeah.
And then Braun Breaker, no special look. He just wore one of those like half white, half printed singlets like his dad and uncle did. He kept it casual, but that was a good match. But man, was I upset that Dominic Mysterio won the title. I was shit talking the whole time. But now that I saw he's defending tonight against Penta, I'm calling it now. He's losing it tonight. Finn is going to cost Dom the Intercontinental Championship, and Penta's going to win it tonight. I'm calling it now.
Okay. I wouldn't be surprised. I think a Penta Braun Breaker rematch, because they have faced each other before, would be again really good. Um, the big difference with Penta and most of the luchadors is that Penta has size. He's kind of like La Parca was, where he's got size to him. A lot of the luchadors are, Dragon Lee size or that kind of thing. Not knocking the fact that they're not good wrestlers, but they just don't have much size to them. Penta has that ability to go against a bigger guy like Breaker, or he can wrestle the smaller guys like a Rey Mysterio or a Chad Gable, Grande Americano, or Ray Phoenix or somebody like that. He can hold his own both ways, which I think is super cool too. Because there's a lot of great matches that you could have with Penta.
Everyone was saying online, "Oh, Dom is so over now. He's about to be a babyface." He's not over. They were just crowd. The crowd was probably so high because it was 420 yesterday. They thought Eddie was wrestling a match.
Well, and Dominic's been over. A lot of people don't understand the fact that being over does not necessarily mean you're being cheered. Dominic might actually be one of the most over guys in the company, because he couldn't open his mouth without the whole place booing him out of the building, just like Don Callis has happened to him in AEW. For a stretch there, he couldn't get two words out edgewise. And that was a good thing. That also means you're over. Just because you're not a fan favorite doesn't mean you're not over.
Well, that's what I meant. They were cheering him like he was Eddie. They were so high. Yeah. I guess they thought Eddie was wrestling again, fighting for another IC title. And now he's full-blown trying to play this cosplaying Eddie, where he just had a Latino Heat shirt on. He's still got the mustache. He's still got the mullet. He's still doing Three Amigos. He's still doing frog splashes. Next, all you need now is you need a lowrider. You got Liv being your Latina, your mamacita. You just need a lowrider. But I'm not a fan of this because as much as I loved Eddie Guerrero, there is only one Eddie. There cannot be another. And I get everyone's playing around with the whole that's his poppy, going back to that storyline 20 years ago. That's your Uncle Eddie. That's not your poppy. That's your Uncle Eddie. But I get the story. He was adopted by Ray, and he's the real poppy. I get it. Greatest one. I didn't like this rivalry because it was never even. Eddie only won one match against Ray, and that was their final match ever before he passed away. I'm not talking
You
about
are
those.
exactly right.
I hated that rivalry. He was supposed to win at the Bash and at Judgment Day 05, and Vince flipped the script and said Ray's winning. So that's what made this rivalry so one-sided, and I hated it. But I digress. But
the next match, we didn't know who the opponent was going to be when we walked into this thing. We knew Randy Orton was going to have a match. But who was his opponent going to be? I said it was going to be Solo. I think you said Rusev.
I said Rusev, Jeff Hardy, Aleister Black, Solo. Yeah. I don't think I said Joe Henry. I just said to a guy in a text like, that'd be cool if it's Joe Henry. But as soon as them doors slowly opened, I saw the pose. I said, that's Joe Henry. And sure enough, the whole crowd erupted.
And a lot of people are hammering the thing because they're saying that he buried Joe Henry, buried TNA. No. I don't think they buried him anyway. Joe Hendry's one of those guys. Orton even said this, that, he will have other WrestleMania appearances. And
this just made him a bigger star. It made him a bigger star.
Not only did he get his first WrestleMania match, but it's against a guy who is, no questions asked, a first ballot Hall of Famer. And one of the greatest of all time in Randy Orton. I mean, that was a no-brainer to me as far as, okay, this is going to be a quality thing for him. So, yes, Randy made quick work of him, but there it went. The next match, my boy, got the guy behind me.
Can I say, I added a new RKO to my list of top favorite RKOs. The Joe Henry pose and an RKO out of nowhere. And then Orton doing it. By the way, he paid homage. Remember the Adidas looking shorts he wore in his WWE debut when he wrestled Hardcore Holly? It was like navy with the yellow line. I called him his ring gear was similar to his debut gear he wore when they were like I called them the Adidas shorts because they had the stripes on the side. Like if it was Adidas shorts, that was cool to see that. And I mean, come on, you can't. This was his 20th WrestleMania. You could not have him on the card. Even though it was a squash match, I will not say it was the worst match of the night. No, it was Joe Henry. No, the worst match. Worst match. We hadn't even got to it yet, but. All right, back to you.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah. There's a short list of really bad matches, too. The next match, and, the guy right behind me, the phenomenal AJ Styles against Logan Paul. I get that they're trying to put some sort of rocket on Logan Paul. And AJ's to that point in his career where he's helping do that with guys. Logan Paul gets the win. Pretty uneventful match, to be perfectly honest. Karrion Kross gets involved a little bit. Tries to get brass knucks to AJ. AJ doesn't want to hear it. It's the usual. I'm sure at some point we're going to see AJ and Karrion Kross. If that does happen, I think they would be really good matches.
Or hear me out. Let's say he just aligns and joins Kross, and maybe that can help Kross be a little more booking and competitive. Maybe put some gold on him. They could be good tag champs together. But I loved Logan Paul's entrance with the Trone. Cross is this like a future predictor gimmick, like predicting the future, or giving out these like quote unquote riddles? And whatever he did on, was it the WrestleMania recap show or whatever, where he just had that outburst? I didn't see it, or was it on the McAfee show?
Oh no, he was hot. No, that was legit. He was hot.
I'm gonna have to watch that. I didn't even get to watch it yet. And someone said, is Cross trying to get released or something? I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
I don't know, but he was pissed. It was 3 minutes of him going pipe bomb on pretty much Triple H down.
I heard it was a work, but I digress.
He was in his hometown, the town that he got started in and all that, and he had 1 minute on the card. Didn't have any sort of a match or anything, that he's been trying to do what he needs to do and all this stuff, and still cannot get anywhere. Yada yada woof woof. I don't know. I could see him aligning more with Aleister Black than I can with AJ.
Ooh, that would be good. But as long as we can keep seeing Scarlett on TV, I mean, I feel like they should do more with Cross. Even if you go back to his Killer Cross gimmick, I wouldn't mind that. But I don't hate the guy. They just don't know how to use him right. And I wish they would use him the way they used him in NXT, because I freaking loved him in NXT, even when he was bald. So they need to fix something about that. And I'm wondering if WWE's going to get some backlash on the internet, because they got Real American Beer on their canvas and they already hate Hulk Hogan enough.
Yeah, but they don't hate the check that he's cutting.
No. I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna eventually try that beer eventually. I already drank Broken Skull. Now I need to try Real American if I could find it. Maybe when I go to Texas, I bet you I can find it over there. At your local Buc-ee's or HEB store.
Possible. HEB has a pretty good selection of those microbrew type things.
Oh, look, another surprise. My other baby. Oh, no, that's Booker T's. That's Booker T's favorite.
Yeah, that's his
no, that's not my baby. That's Drake Morrow's baby. Oh, another surprise. I love her braids. I love Julia's braids. All right, where's Score Jade? That's what I meant. That's Drake Morrow's woman, Roxanne.
Yeah.
This would make a good tag team. Julia and Roxanne, that'd be a good tag team. But is that Rhea?
Yep.
Wow. Raw's been fire lately.
Her hitting that little move right there under the ropes, that was rather impressive.
Now, is this Roxanne's official call-up? I know it's not Julia's. Julia's might be a one-off like Stephanie Bakir's, but I think this might be Roxanne's call-up. I don't know, but Logan and AJ's match could have been better. Is that black eye Rhea got, or is that the makeup? Like on her lower eye, it looks like a black eye.
I mean, it could be. That match was pretty. The match was pretty rough last night. Yeah, she's got a little bit of a shiner going there.
Jill is like, I don't want none of you. But Logan and AJ's match could have been better. I think it was a shock, but there were some people that predicted Logan would win. I guess people forgot Logan has a WrestleMania win. This was his second win. He won last year. He beat LA Knight and Kevin Owens in a triple threat match when he was still the U.S. champion. Not LA Knight. It was Kevin Owens and Randy Orton, right? No, LA Knight fought AJ Styles last year.
Yeah, you're right. It was Randy Orton.
KO. They came out together on the golf cart.
Right.
Which that was hilarious too. But yeah, so Logan Paul back-to-back WrestleMania wins. Everybody's already bashing you boys, saying he got buried, losing to a dipshit like him, and they're already making AEW all elite graphics. AJ Styles is all elite. AJ Styles ain't leaving WWE.
No, AJ's not going to AEW. I would love to see it happen because he would own that company.
I think he should.
Because the first match I would want to see.
What's that?
I want to see him redo AJ and Samoa Joe.
Oh, hell yeah! But I would like to see him go back to TNA for like if he's going to retire soon. Go have one more match I don't know with who if you got on that roster today, unless if he fights maybe fight like Jeff Hardy or something, or
Nah,
maybe
I
fight Eric
mean,
Young, or if you want to fight someone current, go fight like Moose, go fight Joe Hendry, go fight Sammy Callahan. Josh Alexander's in AEW now, so he's not teaming.
I think AJ and Joe Hendry could be fun. I really do. I think AJ and Joe Hendry could have some very interesting matches.
Yeah, but that was a decent match, even though I did not pick Logan to win. But
Yeah, either. But the next match leads into something that we saw early tonight on Raw
that was my worst match of the night,
because
right there, that we're about to talk about.
oh really? Wow. Okay.
I
Liv
thought,
Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez walk in as the champs, the women's tag team champions. Lyra Valkyria is supposed to team with Bayley, but on Saturday, Bayley gets attacked by somebody, quote, somebody.
I think it was her.
And are we guessing who it was now?
I think it's Becky
And
Lynch.
Lyra Valkyria gets her new partner, which is the
The man.
man. The man is back, Becky Lynch.
And
And
we
she and Lyra Valkyria defeat Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez to become your new women's tag team champions.
it's not that Lyra's not a good wrestler. I think she is. She's still green to me. I mean, she was decent kick ass in NXT, but it's like since she went to the main roster, yeah, she's the women's intercontinental champion, but I felt like she is not, she's flat. Like, yeah, she's got a good entry. She comes out with the whatever wings she got, Raven wings or Falcon wings, Eagle wings, whatever. And they're just
Yeah.
woo, woo, whatever.
Oh, they're supposed to be Valkyrie wings.
Valkyrie. Yeah, teaming up with Becky at two Irish women teaming together. Dream team. Be a good dream team.
Her and Johnny Sameface's wife need to team up. They both got the little wings things going.
Oh, hell yes. That would be.
But really both of them, okay, both of them. Those two and one of the girls we just saw there, Roxanne Perez. Those are like, those girls are like keychains to a lot of these guys. A guy like Braun Strowman would use one of these girls as a keychain and put her in his pocket. They're that little. I mean, do they weigh 100 pounds sopping wet with a brick in their pocket?
No.
I mean, and they can't if they're 5 foot. If they're 5 foot, I no, there's no way.
Yeah,
there's no way in this world. It just blows me away. It really does. The prominence that they're putting with these, I just don't. There's the believability factor. It goes back to that old thing that Ole Anderson used to say. That it says, I don't have to make you believe that what I'm doing is real. I have to make you believe that I'm real. There is nothing real about watching someone that looks like a 9-year-old kid in there winning matches against a woman like Rhea Ripley. Sorry, it's not. So,
but
that's just me.
And then I felt like that title change was pointless because if you just watched Raw like an hour ago, they won their titles back. They're now record 4-time women's tag team champions. Becky turns heel. Becky attacks Lyra after the match. Now begs the question, was she the one that attacked Bayley backstage, which I think it was her.
It had to be. It had to be. I mean, there really is no other person that could have done it. And I'm sure we'll find out in the next week or so that it was. So, I'm with. I mean, the match was not great by any stretch. I mean, Becky was in shape. She was ready to go. I mean, it's not like she came out there.
We knew she was in town. She was at the Hall of Fame. She took that red carpet photo with Seth, so we knew she was in town.
Right, but the other thing too is we'll go back to Charlotte. She looked like she was ready to go. She hit that ring and was ready to go. There was no hold back, no nothing, no ring rust, no nothing. Charlotte did it, ring rust, apprehension, all that kind of stuff. So big difference in the two.
So
And then we get to what I have read by a lot of people, and I really believe one of the worst WrestleMania main events in the history of WrestleMania.
wait, real quick, was it worse than Brock and Roman at 34? Because I was there and it was so boring. I was watching a beach ball get thrown in the crowd.
That's one of the ones that was on the list in comparison to this one. Uh, I'm trying to remember the other ones. It had this one and three others as the worst.
Hogan and Bundy, or Hogan and
No,
Sid, or Lawrence Taylor and Bam Bam, or
Lawrence Taylor and Batman was good.
uh,
Um,
the women's main
no,
event from 35.
no.
Triple H and Roman.
Let me see if I can pull up the thing again.
While you pull it up, I got a couple questions for you. Hopefully, you can get quick answers. What's your take
Okay.
on how the set, having fans watch the show from the set? That's why the pyro game was not on its point. Plus, Stone Cold running into the barricade, and now that shit saying, "Oh, a woman got hurt or a woman got hit." Woman did not fall and get hurt. I think she just,
No.
it's like people overreacting. People will do anything for people to read their feeds or read their articles and whatnot.
Yeah, you're right on that one. I think that you can tell that she didn't get hit. So there's that. Um, what was the other part of what you were saying?
Oh, the stage where people, where they had fans watching the show from the stage. They had a bar set up. They had couches. They had bar stools, tables, a little standing area. Like, I don't know how much tickets were for that, or you had to have like a special pass for that. But that's why the fireworks display was not on its point. We're used to seeing crazy pyro. They didn't have that because you had fans watching the show from that massive setup they had that looked like a Las Vegas hotel in casino.
Yeah.
It was neat, something new
Yeah.
we never seen, but I bet the tickets for that was like a fucking Super Bowl ticket.
The by the way, the other two worst ones were both surprise, Hogan. Hogan and Sid from 8 and Hogan and Yoko from 9.
Oh, I forgot about Yoko Hogan. So Vegas had two WrestleMania main events that were named worst match ever in two different
Hmm.
WrestleManias.
So, but yeah, I mean, I thought the whole thing of it was creative the way they did the stage and all that. I thought it was cool. It was something different.
I
I
liked how
don't
the
know that you
graphics
gotta
changed.
have.
Even two
Yeah, I
different
mean,
nights.
I think the graphics stuff is even more creative than the pyro stuff.
Yeah.
So you don't always have to have the pyro.
Yeah, like you had this like nightlight looking graphic for night one, and then night two you had this like neonish looking graphic, like purplish or something or bluish. This
Right.
was pretty neato.
Yeah. Yeah. So what else did you have before we get to the
Oh, that's
main
all I
event of
had.
the evening?
That's all I have for now. I
Oh, I thought you
have
had another. Okay.
no. That's all it was Stone Cold hitting that barricade with his full wheeler, and then the WrestleMania set. I do have some more questions. I'll give to you after we recap the second main event.
Yeah, this one was nowhere near good. The American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes versus John Cena for the undisputed WWE Championship. Um, Cena ends up winning the title um, after the kick in the nuts, the hit with the belt, the
Travis
ever
Scott.
popular Dusty finish. Travis Scott, someone explained to me how that whole thing with him works.
I don't get it. And
Um,
what? Where was The Rock? Everybody was like, "Where's Rock's in Hollywood filming Moana?"
right. Well, and the other part of it too is, I mean, we were talking about the girls. Travis Scott don't weigh 100 pounds with a brick in his pocket.
I did
I
laugh when he
mean,
took a
realist.
crossroads.
Do what?
I did laugh when he took a crossroads from Cody.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Some of these, we talk about the celebrities like a Logan Paul or a Bad Bunny who don't embarrass themselves and don't embarrass the sport. Then you got a Yahoo like this guy who is a complete embarrassment to himself and the sport. Um, it's ridiculous. It really, honest to God, is. But and we see Jey Uso come out, and it's like I was saying, man. Everybody in the house is doing the yeet thing.
I think it's come to my
Uh,
attention that Jey Uso is very loved by millions of people. I think those 16,000 dislikes on that YouTube video was just Roman marks or the Bloodline cult or Roman cult,
no,
whatever you want to call them.
that's very possible. Very possible.
The ones who cried about him losing to Cody are now crying because Jay, if this Bloodline thing was still going on, you could kind of say he's the head of the table now because he's world champion. He's the tribal chief now. Even though he ain't wearing no Ulafala, he's got a gold chain on because he's got swag. I love his style.
Yeah.
I kind of want that shirt now. World Heavy Yeet. I kind of want that shirt too.
You know what color he's wearing. You know the colors he's wearing. Those are championship colors.
Black and gold.
Exactly. Pittsburgh Steeler colors. Thank you very much.
Not traditional gold like the New Orleans Saints, but that belt does blend with that shirt.
Yeah.
I love the big gold belt, but I think I want that version of the world heavyweight title now. There's something about it. I actually really, it's like a rep. It's like a 2.0 of the big gold belt. I'm not big on that WWE logo in the middle, but I just like how the gold looks and everything. I
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
I kind of want that belt now.
Yeah. It kind of definitely pops. But the main event, I mean, did not have a lot of luster to it. Seemed very flat. The crowd was flat. Um, it just it didn't. I was not enthused at all. Um, and I've talked to a few people today; they weren't enthused. Um, the biggest thing that I can say is, you know, okay, Cena won the title. All right, congratulations.
I'm happy you
He
broke
got
the
his
record.
17th. Yeah,
Now
I
the Ric
mean,
Flair haters are dancing in the street because the record's broken.
right. I mean, I just can't. Um, it's definitely an I don't care.
He
I
did. I don't
really don't.
care. I wish he'd have did it. I mean, but I knew he wasn't going to do it that way because he's a heel. He did it in heel fashion. He had help from someone who has no wrestling experience. He got a rapper to help him win his record-breaking title. It's just a heel thing to do. It's genius, but it's like, why not a screw job? Why not use his finisher? Yeah, you used four AAs to hit him, but you kicked him in the nuts and you hit him with the world title.
Right.
Maybe if he'd have did that without Travis Scott, it'd have meant something. But it's like, all right, the record's finally broken. I'm happy you broke it, but it's like it's living in my head how he had to do it. But it's genius as a heel in a heel perspective. You're not used to that. You're not used to Cena doing nothing like this because Cena's not your typical heel. Like it's been what 20? How many years since he's been a heel? 20 years, 20 plus
20,
years.
22, something like that. But
2003. Yeah,
I've never been a Cena guy, okay, from the beginning.
I was. I
But
hip hop, rapping, John Cena, word life.
yeah, see, when he was doing that kind of stuff, I was cheering for Big Show to whoop him or Orton or whoever. When Mark Henry got him
ABL.
on the retirement deal in the salmon jacket,
Oh
that kind
yeah.
of stuff. I was all over it. I feel the same way about him. I feel about Hogan. Complete waste of time, complete waste of energy, and a fraud, to be honest. So, but that's just me. Um, Now the next question becomes, how long does he hold it? We found out tonight who his next challenger is probably going to be.
Randy Orton.
Um, that would be Randy Orton.
He's got
Um,
he's got 23 appearances left, according to that countdown he did at the beginning of Raw. When he's
it's
going to lose
27.
it. Oh, I thought it was
Is it
23.
23 or might be 23. I'd have to
He
look.
was
But
at.
anyway, go ahead.
It started with 36. When the beginning of the year started, it was at 36. Then he counted down. It was like Raw, Netflix, the Rumble, the Chamber, the 3 shows in the UK, in Europe, the 3 shows in Vegas, including tonight's Raw. Maybe it was 27. But like I said, there's still many more fantasy booking to do. I think when that countdown of appearances gets to 1, that's when I think he loses it.
Yeah, 27 is all he has left.
So
27.
After 26 soon to be appearances, when he's down to his final 1, which I'm hearing rumors about a pay-per-view they want to create. Supposedly it's supposed to be called Ruthless Aggression, and they're going to do it in Boston in December. I think that's when he loses it.
So you think he holds on to it all this time?
There's a possibility. I mean, let's kind of calculate what's coming up. He can appear at, Backlash at St. Louis, Money in the Bank in LA, SummerSlam in New York, New Jersey. That's 3 right there. When they go to Paris, they're probably going to be in Paris. One of the shows one of the Raws or SmackDowns in the UK. He was announced to do Australia, Perth, Australia. He was announced for that.
Right.
Maybe Survivor
Series. Yeah.
In San Diego. That so-called pay-per-view in Boston. That's 7 right there. He might pop up on Raw and if they do another Raw in LA after Money in the Bank. Count that. They're supposed to go back to Madison Square Garden, so that's 9. They announced Raw's going to Houston, Texas, July 21st. There was rumored he might appear there, so that's 10. List goes on. New Orleans is supposed to get one more show before their WrestleMania week later this year, so that could be number 11. Like, the list can go on. Like, he's going to hit up some cities one more time.
Yeah, I mean,
Chicago. You got to do Chicago on the list too. He didn't go to SmackDown in Chicago. So you got to put Chicago on the list too.
8 months, 33 weeks, and he's got 23 left. Or 27 left, and he's got 33 weeks. So he'll be on most either Raw or SmackDown, one or the other.
And it's at the LAs too.
He'll be on one or the other most weeks between now and the end of the time. Then it's just a matter of, okay, who does he face for his last match? That kind of thing. So
yeah, that we'll wait. I will have to wait till we get to the end of that. But I like how he went all black and white for the intro. Just simple black jumbo, no lights, spotlight on him, just white words on his jumbotron. Cody with the Iron Man looking skull mask where it opened on its own, and I didn't get his entrance with the dirt bikes, but just Travis Scott having it was the hillest thing you can do. So we'll see when that comes. But I mean, overall, I think I gave maybe night 2 might have been better than night 1, but my matches of the night were both for Saturday was the triple threat and Sunday was the triple threat. So I got a couple. Overall, I'll rate the show maybe like a solid 3 out of 5.
Yeah. I'll go like 3 1/4. We'll do the ever popular Meltzer star meter, and I'll go like 3 1/4 stars.
So I got a couple. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm good. Go ahead.
So I got 6 questions for you we could close out with, and you're going to give me 2 answers. You'll give me an answer for Saturday and an answer for Sunday. So
okay,
I'll share mine for you. They're easy questions. Best entrance.
Oh, Saturday was Tiffany.
Okay. The Barbie box and everything.
Sunday, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Sunday, Becky.
Okay. Yeah. Tiffany's was very favorite, but I will say I'm about to say Seth Rollins for Saturday. Coming out with that flamethrower, act like he burnt the casino down to flames and it went black, and then he was wearing all white. Kind of
Yeah,
reminded me
that
of
was pretty cool.
Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25, coming from the heavens.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday, I'm gonna say, who did I say for Sunday? Oh, Logan Paul, the drone. I thought that was cool.
Yeah,
It's like he was live or something.
I can see that.
Coolest look. Like, who had the best ring entrance gear, ring gear, all the above? Who had the best look? Or the coolest look? Whatever you want to call it.
On Saturday, I always like the War Raiders gear. I think
Clash of
that
the
just they
Clans gear.
every time they come out, whether they're on Raw or whatever, they just come out looking like they're gonna beat somebody up. I like the War Raiders gear. So give me that for Saturday. Because a lot of people on Saturday had their normal stuff. Sunday, wow, best gear. EO.
Okay. So Saturday, I said best look was Jey Uso. The gold and all that, then the blue and the black.
Right.
Like I liked his look for Saturday. Sunday, I'm gonna say Bianca Belair. That ring robe coat, whatever, made out of rose petals. That was neato. Her ring gear was flawless. Which they say Bianca makes her own ring gear, so she always outshine. I think she outshines Charlotte when it comes to female ring gear at WrestleMania. I'll give Bianca that.
I had heard that she does her own stuff. I was like, good grief.
She could be a seamstress if she wanted. Like she's got a background of being a home economics background.
Yeah.
She always makes her ring gear, and I love it. Which I did love her ring gear for WrestleMania 38, and I was there for that. Okay, what's my next question? Oh, this is a good one. Biggest OMG moment.
Oh man. Biggest OMG moment. Saturday and Sunday. Ooh. Man.
While you think about it, I'll say mine real quick. Saturday, I'm going to say the crossover turn of Paul Heyman. The double turn. The double crossover turn on Roman and Punk. That's for night one. Night two, Joe Hendry.
Night one. I would say night one is Jay winning the title.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Jay, and night two. If we're talking an OMG moment, Dominic winning the title.
Okay. This one I think we've already stated. Match of the night. I said both triple threat matches.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you there.
Hell,
with
NXT.
an honorable mention.
Okay.
Yeah, with an honorable mention to Jacob Fatu and LA Knight.
Okay. Yeah. I think triple threats won that whole weekend. Even for NXT Stand and Deliver, the triple threat with Obafemi and Javon Evans and Trick was another match of the night. Who was the MVP of WrestleMania?
We doing both each night individually or overall?
Yeah, both nights. If this would have been one night, then we'd have had to pick one true winner. But where this is two separate shows, two separate answers.
The MVP of night one. This is going to sound really weird. Heyman.
That's mine, too. Mine's Paul Heyman for night one.
Yeah. Yeah. Night two. Becky.
My night two, I said Drew McIntyre, all because of the selfie and the tweet.
Oh, that's valid. Drew's valid. Plus, he got the big win at WrestleMania, which he hadn't had since 2020. So yeah, you're good.
All right. One last question. Wildest move for both nights.
Loudest move, like the loudest pop for a move.
No, maneuver you saw or maneuvers. I'll take this one first to give you an example. So for night one,
please.
For night one, I said the moment where Punk hits a GTS on Seth, then Punk gets speared by Roman, then Roman gets curb stomped by Seth, and they all three collapse on the ground. And for night two, I'm going to say the RKO to Joe Hendry after he did the pose.
Okay.
I almost picked the spear to Carlito from announce table to announce table, but the RKO won it for me.
Okay, well, given that, night one, I think it would be from the kick out after the natural selection through to the PME for Tiffany and the pin.
Okay.
Night two. Wow. Oh. I know what I should go with, but the match was so freaking flat. Oh, no. Io with the Spanish, when she did that Spanish fly, I'm trying to remember who she did it on. Whether she did it on Maria or she did it on Bianca. But when she did the Spanish fly, yeah, that would be it. Because she probably does the best Spanish fly outside of Sammy Guevara.
Well,
that's what I would go with.
Well, one more. That's all I got. But going back to that Survivor Series announcement, looking at the logo, you don't see War Games on it. You think they're going to drop War Games out of Survivor Series and give it its own PLE, or they're going to keep it? They just don't need War Games in the title. Because everybody's like, well, they didn't mention War Games, so we don't know if they're still going to do it. It just says Survivor Series San Diego. I mean, if they still do War Games, you don't need the name in it unless you give it its own PLE and you take it off the Survivor Series. Because I rather the traditional or classic 5-on-5, 4-on-4s. I miss those.
Oh, but you're also running into another issue because War Games, you have the cage with the top. And in a stadium, it makes it a little more difficult because now you're having to suspend a cage off of the rigging.
They'll have to make a tarpaulin deal, like a scaffold structure like they always do for
rigging. Yeah, the rigging. But you would have to hang the cage off of that, which has, my original boss in radio taught me, you make sure it can't fail instead of that it might work. There's too many possibilities of that turning into a disaster. Hanging from that scaffolding or hanging from that rigging. So that might be why they're not looking at it being War Games. Maybe there's a cage, but I don't think you're going to see War Games.
Yeah, because we've seen a steel cage or Hell in a Cell hang above in an outdoor stadium, but I mean, I don't know. They've pulled off crazy stunts before. We'll see when that time comes. It's not till November 29th, so
No way.
they better start planning blueprints now before we get to to November 29th.
By the way, that Spanish Fly was on Bianca.
Okay. Well, that's all I got for
Um,
tonight. That's all I got.
um, let me look at something real quick.
Hmm.
Because I would have to find out which one that is because I'm looking at
What's
Hell in a
that?
Cell matches, and there's not one showing from a stadium.
WrestleMania 28 with Undertaker Triple H. That was in an outdoor stadium. That was in Miami before they put a roof on it. I think that was the only outdoor. The one in I don't know if you want to call the Muhammad Abdul Arena at the Boulevard an outdoor venue or not, but that Hell in a Cell with Seth and Edge at Crown Jewel was somewhat outdoors. I think that was the only outdoor Hell in a Cell matches they had. Oh well, no. That's it. No, I forgot. SoFi got a skyline roof. They got a skyline
Well,
roof.
either way, they may be getting rid of War Games then, because I'll be honest with you, the original War Games was great. The second year they did it was fantastic. Everything they've done after that, and I'm saying this was NWA. When you had that first War Games with the Road Warriors and Dusty and Nikita and all that stuff, okay, and JJ Dillon breaking his shoulder and all that kind of stuff. That was fantastic. The second year it was fine. Everything after that has been completely lukewarm, simply because they just don't do it. It's not done where you destroy somebody. I'm almost more impressed with Blood and Guts that AEW puts on than I
No,
am with the War
I
Games that WWE puts on.
I don't like their version because the point is to keep everyone in and not get out, and they get out like it's a freaking Falls Count Anywhere match. I hate that.
Well, the point of Hell in a Cell is to stay in too, and you have somebody get out every other Hell in a Cell match.
Well, that was banging. That's what I used to love when they climb to the top and do some crazy shit off the top. But it's like,
Well, yeah, I mean, you had Taker and Foley do it. You had Shane do it. You had, breaking out of Hell in a, that was supposed to be the whole thing. Hell in a Cell is a structure that cannot be broken out of. Well, that got completely shot to hell. Um, so
I just say
you know,
give War Games its own PLE. Go back to traditional and classic Survivor Series. I miss the 4-on-4 or 5-on-5 teams where people make a little alliances. Don't do this
oh,
Raw versus SmackDown bullshit. Just I like how they did it back in the day. Like if you're doing 4-on-4, take two tag teams together as a team of four and take on another set of two tag teams of four, or
well,
take like
no. Remember what they did was they would put 5 tag teams together on each side.
I hate it.
So
No,
you
that
had
was
10 guys on each side.
no, I hate that. No, don't ever do that shit again. Remember when they did that for NXT? They did 10 on 10 on 10 or 5 on 5 on 5. That was too that 10 on 10 on 10 was
Yep.
basically a Royal Rumble match.
Pretty close. I mean, that stuff is just bananas. Yeah, you can't do that.
Everyone pledges that 2019 Survivor Series. No, I didn't. I mean, I wouldn't mind NXT getting involved if it was just WWE versus NXT, not Raw, Smack, not 3-on-3-on-3 shit. Like I hate it. That's why I wasn't a big fan of Survivor Series 2019. It was my anxiety was kicking in with too many people in the ring. And
Yep. You're right. You are right.
Gunther's going after Michael Cole. But I ain't got nothing else for tonight.
This should be interesting
Mag
because you know who's going to come down and save him.
Yeah. Oh, no, Adam Pearce. Don't go try and tackle the man.
Well, no, Adam Pearce is another one. If he takes a wrong fall, he ain't getting up. His neck is that bad. I've heard Cornette talk about that.
Is that fans that jumped the barricade? Who are these guys in the hats?
Yeah.
Oh my God, they had some fans that jumped over the crowd. Is that Gregory Helms?
Yeah, it's Shane Helms.
Oh wow. Where's Evan Courageous? Where's Shannon Moore while they're at it? Where's the rest of 3 Count?
No, Shane Helms has been an agent for them for years.
Ain't Daivari an agent? I knew Jamie Noble was a free agent at one time. Daivari
Noble's an agent on SmackDown, yeah. Daivari is on SmackDown too, I think.
I know Finley Jason Jordan. I knew Finley coached like the women at the Performance Center.
Oh, yeah.
There's the Creed brothers.
Yeah,
I literally just saw one of the Creed brothers come out of character. So what? We're gonna get a McAfee Gunther match next, bro. Can I believe they actually had? I might have to rewind this, or someone's gonna post it on Twitter about fans jumping the barricade. Well, there's Jason Jordan.
Yeah.
Another guy that don't need his neck broken. Dude, they should be handcuffed. Why are they not handcuffing these guys?
You may have. When they got him over the rail.
There's like one heavyset guy. He's still got his arms up. Like, holy shit. Like, do you not hear the announcement before they go live on Netflix or on USA? Do not get involved or you're banned from the arena?
Well, but you also have to understand one other thing, too. That the security guards don't carry handcuffs.
I'm shocked the Las Vegas PD didn't get involved. I'm rewinding this. Like when we get off the air,
that's not a Creed brother.
That's a fan.
Yeah.
How is he not like? Where is the security? I'm used to seeing how we see those little moments where they get in the ring and have a moment. No, I wouldn't say have a moment, but try to get involved before security like freaking tackles them like NFL Blitz and gets them kicked out of the arena.
Now that I'm thinking about it, the big guy is one of the Raiders' offensive linemen.
Oh, he's there as a fan. I think he still shouldn't have jumped the barricade, but I rewound too far. I'm back at AJ's backstage interview where Karrion Kross interrupts.
But he's probably there as a guest, so they're not going to get overly crazy.
Oh, Twitter's about to blow up, but I'm gonna I paused it where I could go back and see this.
No.
But
yeah, we gotta close this thing down.
Yeah, I'm sorry we kept it too long.
We're all right. I'm as guilty as anybody. So, but anyway, folks, that is our review of WrestleMania 41. We appreciate you checking us out. We definitely appreciate all comments and everything. Any last thoughts there, Marcus?
Well, this Raw after Mania was indeed one of the best I've seen in a while. But overall, Mania, it's over. I mean, I had a bumpy road to WrestleMania, but I'm glad it's over. But I'm looking forward to next year's WrestleMania because it's coming back in my neck of the woods. 3rd time it's coming to New Orleans. I will 100% be there. I'm going to try and do everything. But I'm ready to enjoy. I'm ready for the summer to get here. I can't wait to see what they got in line for Backlash. And then the summer of wrestling, I always call it every summer. What we get with Money in the Bank, the Worlds Collide, SummerSlam, Clash in Paris, whatever else they got in July. Whatever they do in July. I'm talking WWE wise. I'm not bringing up like AEW or TNA or anything like that. But I feel like it's about to cook. Like had an outstanding Mania week and everything. How that turned out, I'm looking forward to see what we're gonna get within the next month or so.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, interesting to see how things play out. And of course, we're still working on getting the weekly program going. I'm still trying to figure out the time that I'm going to have to do it.
I
But
do. I
pardon
do
my
have
voice as well as it's starting to go because I've been talking for the last 3.5 hours.
I do
But
have I do have a question though. Will there be times would you ever want to get on and maybe do a watch along of a PLE?
yeah, I can do that.
Maybe not Backlash because I'm gonna be at a Dynamo matchup. So I'm gonna have to watch
That's
Backlash
possible.
the next day. Maybe for Money in the Bank, because they're trying to consider Money in the Bank as one of the big four, big five. But we'll think of something down the road. Maybe
I
for
can do that.
SummerSlam or SummerSlam. Maybe we'll think of some. Maybe you can do a watch along, and whoever else we know in Drive to the Top Productions that watches wrestling can pop in and say what's up. I've been on a few watch alongs before, and they're fun. Like I did a stand and deliver watch along with a buddy of mine from Chicago. I hopped on his feed and we talked and watched stand and deliver together. It was fun.
I can do that. I'm sure we could figure it out.
Oh yeah.
So, but anyway, folks, we appreciate you sticking around with us on this Monday night. And until the next time, we'll let you know when it's happening. Big Rich,
Sir,
he's Marcus. So
that's
long,
right.
everybody.
Y'all have a good night.